Here I started to remove the cabinets from one of our rental property. One of our tenant recently vacated, and we're getting to do a rehab, starting to do a rehab on it. So we're just removing these old particle style board kitchen cabinets and storing them in the garage to come back later to finish up and remove them from the garage.
Plan today is to get this wall of tiles off this shower because we're going to redo that. Remove this sink, and we removed the kitchen yesterday. Did a time lapse on that. I had my tiler came in this morning and he filled in the spot. The tile doesn't match. It doesn't really matter because you're putting in new cabinets, so we want everything to be on the same level. Next thing I'm gonna come and do right here, we're gonna cut all this section of drywall here out, all the way to that corner right there. And a little discoloration there, we're gonna fix that. All right, so all the stuff is in the garage to be taken to the dump, so we're gonna throw everything in here for now until we get done knocking this out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do a time lapse on that.
Here I'm getting ready to remove the tiles from off the wall, starting to take off the plumbing trimmings, and went to get my tool to cut around the board, the drywall around the tile area, so I could take those out in larger pieces. So I removed all that tile. So we're gonna replace those tiles with cement board and have the entire bathroom tile all the way up to the crown mold and in there. What I end up doing, I didn't plan on doing it, but I end up replacing that window as well. I started to rip out everything, and I noticed window wasn't closing properly. So here I am the next day, just cleaning up what I had done the day prior, bringing all that stuff to store in the garage to be removed at a later date. So everything I was demoing, I was just stored in the garage for now. So here I'm back there outside now doing the window, removing the windows. I had to chip the concrete from around it. All those one by strip that was there prior, I'm replacing that with 1x4s, wider, building up the ledge with concrete, so that way that window would be in without any water coming in from the outside. Um, what I did find out after I put that window in, the window was broken, so I didn't take it out. So luckily, I think it was Gelwin Windows. I called them up and they send the replacement part after we finish tiling. So I end up going ahead again and repairing that later. Brand new window, it wasn't staying up when you open it. So here I'm putting a 1x6 around where I'm gonna build up that concrete to match to fill in the gap below the window right there. So here's the window that I'm telling you it wasn't staying up when you push it up. So I took a video to send to them. But they did send me the replacement manufacturer warranty to hold that up whenever time, and here I came back a couple days later or the next day, I'm not sure when. But then before I start putting up the cement board, I decided to just put that vapor barrier around the outside walls that we're gonna replace those old drywall with cement board to put the tiles on. So I just remove all that section so I could put 2 full sheet of drywall, 5x3 section cement board um, around there in the shower, and just removing that, and then add in the vapor barrier on the outside wall and on both walls, the other 2 walls, opposite walls that the tiles will be on. See, I added a 1x6 at the top for holding that cement board. And there I am now getting some help putting in, well, I'm putting in the first row of cement board here. Then I got some help from CJ to put in the top section. What I did after we're done was just to cut that window opening out instead of cutting the drywall, I mean the cement board. I just put it in and then cut it there. Look, and then what I started doing, I was just wearing that respiratory mask to protect my lungs while I'm doing all this work. Yep, here we done cutting out the window, all that dust. And then what we were doing while we were doing the windows, CJ was helping me a couple of days when he was finished with work, putting all these new cabinets that we bought, ready to assemble cabinets. So we have to put them together before we start the installation of those. Most of the time he's on his phone, as you can see in the time lapse here, while I'm running around doing all this. Here I'm back the next day to finish up the other section of the walls, and I end up removing the toilet so I could get more space to work around. I actually added some 2x4s in that wall so I would have somewhere to connect those full sheet wide cement board. And then what I did was get those bonding strip and use some tin set and adhere those joints where all the joints were, and then use the same tin set to cover all the screw holes before the tiler would come in and do his things, do all the tiling. But here I'm just, connecting all the sealing up all the joining of the drywall. And then the next day, had Sean Jojo that was helping us. We were pressure washing the outside of the house here, house and driveway. So you did pressure wash most of the house and the driveway. There he is, just going over, slowly doing the pressure washing of the exterior. Okay, now we're back in doing the painting. They're painting, and we're putting in, still assembling all the cabinets. So we had to paint the ceiling because it was really dirty from all that cooking grease. We had to wipe down all those chrome molding all around the baseboards. Um, yeah, we had to repaint the entire interior because the house was filled with grease and dirt from the prior tenant. And over the other side in the kitchen, we were still, CJ was helping me putting these ready to assemble cabinets together. So the next day I had to put that plug in where the microwave will be going above the range and just patching out. I did some painting, cutting out around the it was the ceiling. I was doing the cutting. CJ painted, repainted the kitchen. I think I did patch that area with the discoloration afterwards. But here we are next day again. The same day, I think we're getting ready to install some of the cabinets. Here I'm going around marking around the wall where the cabinets will be attached to the studs. And CJ here helping me on that day doing the upper cabinets, getting them all attached to the wall. So yeah, we did all the uppers. Yeah, I haven't done the discoloration up to that point yet. I put some bleach the thing there, but then I eventually went back and removed that section. Now we're on the other side of the cabinet, upper cabinets, above the microwave, above the stove. And here I came back the next day, cutting out this section of drywall and did replace that. There wasn't much of a discoloration on the back, on the wall itself, but I did remove that, spray down the area with some bleach, let it sit for a little bit, and just removing all those stuff area, cutting off all that area, put the moisture barrier against the wall, cut the drywall, put it back in and patch it out. And that was all taken care of. Confident we ain't got no problem because everything now is brand new. The plumber that came back came when we're finishing reconnected all that. Here on this day, the Tyler was just doing his thing. Kevin, that's my Tyler that does all my projects. He's helping us here, putting all these tiles up on this wall. So we had a few
What are you
days of
doing?
that. Oh, look who's helping. That's my
Oh, you're
youngest
making
one,
drywall. No,
telling me
you're
that she
fixing
know
the
how to
partition
paint.
wall. Who
So
teach
she
you to
was
do
helping me
so
patch a little section in the bathroom here.
Who teach you to do that?
You're scaring me.
Okay,
You're
Miss
getting too
Lady.
good at
Think you know how to
this.
patch, do drywall. She did a
Yeah.
good
Good
job,
job.
actually.
Good job.
Yeah, she was doing a good job. Yeah, I was impressed. All right, so yeah, I came back the next day just cleaning out the garage with all the stuff. I started loading in this before I set the camera up, so well, everything that was in the garage was a mountain of trash from the kitchen and the bathroom. I borrowed my buddy dump trailer, load all that stuff up and took it to the dump. Those plywood, I'll take care of them later on. Those are what we use for shutters during hurricane time, so I didn't want to throw those out. Those were still good. They're neatly stacked in the garage now. What I did for the garage was remove all those popcorn that was on the ceiling. So I took down the garage door, and that I had to fix as well. I don't think I have a time lapse of me fixing the garage door, but I don't know. The tenant broke the garage door, so I had to replace a lot of stuff on the garage there. So all the popcorn on the floor, there was nothing on there. So I just scrape all that stuff up and thing there. First I had to wet the ceiling so the drywall would scrape off easier without any dust. So after all that was done, it dried out a few days later. I came back and just repainted the entire garage, spray painted all the garage white. The plumber came in and put an expansion tank on the water heater, and later on we had to come back and put a shower pan underneath the water heater because it was starting to rust there for a little bit. But yeah, I just repainted everything there, and as you could see in the thing there before, the garage door opener wasn't installed fully yet. And this is the day that the plumber came and we had finished up putting in the shower. And if you notice around the water heater, and this is me just painting the garage floor. Mr. Ray watching on. Yeah. Oh yeah. Painted the walls and floors, and garage is looking nice and new for the new tenant. So you this is the finished product of what I did. And that was the trash in the garage.
Come with me. Check out this 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom house at 7408 Don Road in Fort Pierce. As you enter in, you have your living room, ceiling fan above, LED light fixtures in your dining area, new ebony finish shaker style cabinets with granite countertop, stainless steel appliances, stainless steel sink, silver faucet, and Take a look in the garage. One car garage, floors painted, electrical panel, your water heater with expansion tank. You have the hookup for your washer and your dryer. You come on over here. Outside here we had a screen enclosed patio with a nice size backyard. Central air condition. And here is the main bathroom. Nice vanity, shower tile all the way to the ceiling. Here's your second bedroom with your closet. Here's the main bedroom. Yep, this one is ready to be moved in. 7408 Donlon Road in Fort Pierce. Everything's ready for the next tenant.